Welcome back to the Hoops Temple podcast. Y'all know me, Nathan Schwartz. And joining me from Sacramento, Aaron Schroeder.
Good to see you guys. Glad to be here.
Good to see you too. And my double excitement, also joining me from New Zealand, a land that is about to fall back in time in like a week, 2 weeks, April 5th. Our Easter, your time skip to nowhere or future times, Dylan Williamson. Dylan, how's it going?
This is the first I've heard that I'm going to be time traveling, and I am not looking forward to it, if I'm going to be totally honest.
You guys do daylight savings?
Of course.
It's the number one thing I check when Dylan's like 2 minutes late. Is this daylight savings time, spring forward or fall back? Because now having done this pod with him for several years, and back when we did it with Nico, we found out that the United States, Denmark, and New Zealand all spring forward and fall back at different weekends.
Wow.
It was a wonderful time of nightmare logistics.
Yes. Yes.
It was especially bad for me because we'd record first thing in the morning, so it'd be like I'd be waking up at 5 a.m. instead of.
Oh. His cat must have done that.
Oh, gosh. Man, I can't keep picking on his crazy logistics. Oh, there he's.
Did your cat
he's
do
back.
that?
Yeah, bitch.
Dylan, I gotta pick on New Zealand's crazy logistics for this.
Okay.
Because, all right, I gotta ask first. How late are bars open in New Zealand?
It's quite interesting because a lot of them, I don't know if this is a normal thing around the world, but the closing time is just defined as late.
What?
Like the hours will be like 6 p.m. till late.
Wow. Late is not a time.
No. So in Michigan, where I live, the bars close at 2 a.m. unless you have a special permit, which only like 4 bars in the state have. So you're out partying until 2 a.m. and you're done. And for us, daylight savings time is a very special time because at 2 a.m. it becomes 1 a.m. So you get an extra hour of the bar. It like hits and it bounces you right back. So it's beautiful. But I was seeing that New Zealand does their time change at 2 a.m. Or sorry, goes from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 2. So you don't get this special time unless your bars are just open even later than ours.
I think a lot of them open till 3, so you could get 3 to 2 and then get an extra hour.
All right.
How does this happen transactionally? Because like in the United States,
transactionally,
if you're in a place, you're like, oh, they close at 2 o'clock. You look at the clock. All right, I have this much time. Does someone when does late happen? Does someone come up to you and it's like, hey, it's late now? Like you need to go.
Yeah, the DJ stops playing and they turn the lights on.
Huh. Is that a consistent time, or is the DJ just kind of pick their hours?
I think it's probably it's 3 a.m. unless there's no one there at 2:45. Then maybe they'll.
Huh.
That's
late. All right. Or
All right. Yeah, the New Zealand bar crisis solved, and now we're here to solve our playoff wins draft. This is a thing that we started doing last year, where we draft playoff teams and get points based on how many wins they get. So we discussed this pre-pod before Aaron was able to join us. I think we're sticking with the old strategy, unless, Aaron, you want to push for a change. 1 win is 1 win. Play-in wins count as a win, but you don't get added wins for winning the championship or winning in the conference finals. Winning the conference finals counts as the same as a win in the play-in. Everyone good with those circumstances?
A win is a win.
A win is a win. And with the first pick in this playoff wins draft, we have... Oh, fuck. I did not want it first.
The man himself.
All right. I'll go first, and who will go second?
I really hope it's Aaron so that it flows nicely. Awesome. I'm going to be so confused. My tiny
Really?
brain can't handle
Here, there you
oh.
go.
Wow.
Dylan!
We've
Don't
Hell
worry.
yeah.
We've now rearranged the order on the screen.
Hell yeah.
Totally intentionally, not just a matter of coincidence. All right. Playoff wins draft number 1. I feel like the safest pick has to still be the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't love the idea of going first in this draft because I think the Thunder have a weaker chance of repeating than they had of winning last season. But strength of schedule wise, their SRS is 10. They are crushing teams. They start off on such a dominant stretch. They've had a ton of injuries. Jalen Williams, the wing, is coming back. They're getting scrappy, feisty. AJ Mitchell getting in fights with the Wizards. His future team, once his salary becomes too much that the Thunder can't keep him. He's going out there and setting a tone before he even gets to the franchise. I think I think that they are poised. They are definitely, in my mind, the best chance of winning a bunch of games. And no one in the first round scares me for them. And their likely second round opponents, Denver gives me a little bit of pause, but Houston doesn't. So I like my odds here.
It seems like they're at least guaranteed 4 wins, right? You're
Right.
going to get out of the first round. That's 4 wins, and not that you can guarantee 8, but they're not going to play San Antonio, given the 2 seed will be on the other side of the bracket. And
yeah,
I mean, you say you don't want the first pick, but this is probably the best chance of winning is just having OKC because they have been so dominant. And I do feel like SGA has gone up another level in that kind of late game stuff. Maybe he hits more famous game winners that I've been paying attention to, but when the playoff offense got a little bit stale last year, I kind of think they're going to break free of that this year and have an easier time.
and the defense is still elite. I was looking at the best guard defenders in the league because I made a video last year. So someone called Steph Castle a top 5 guard defender. I was like, no, he's not. Last season he was projected, he was doing well, but let's not put that on him yet. And so someone asked me, well, how is he there now? And I'm like, he's doing much better. He's definitely a top 10 guard defender. Let's look at some different metrics. There were 4 Thunder guards in every one of these defensive metrics. It was Shea, Kason Wallace, AJ Mitchell, and Alex Caruso in every single one of the metrics. And Dort was surprisingly not in some of these. I was just cool. So 4 of the Thunder guards are top 10 defensively, and arguably not even the best guard is showing up on these metrics. They're still just crazy defensive.
Do you guys feel like there is a matchup issue though? Could there be a matchup issue looming? Like with the Pacers in the finals last year, they just didn't have anyone in between to guard Siakam, and Siakam gave them way more trouble than you might have anticipated going into that finals. With Jalen Williams, I know he's coming back very soon. I think that was just announced. But with him kind of in and out of the lineup with injuries and fairly rusty, are they lacking wings essentially? They have all these guards and they have the size, but
I think probably the worst matchup for them is the team that keeps beating them, and that they're probably going to have to play in the conference finals, and the Spurs, strictly because they have as Nate pointed out, a top 10 guard defender. Stephon Castle does a really good job on Shea. And then OKC is a team that likes to get inside, and with Victor Wembanyama, you're just not going to have that opportunity.
Looking at their first round matchups, potentially they could end up with a first round series against the Clippers. And not that Kawhi is Pascal or Pascal is Kawhi, but Kawhi is a bigger wing. He is someone that's going to tax J-Dub a lot as far as what's going to be asked of J-Dub defensively. And they don't really have a great secondary defender for a Kawhi type. But I'm sorry, friends don't let friends trust the Clippers. Sorry, Dylan. I just can't see them really getting more than a game or two. So I'm not too worried about the matchups until they would get to the Western Conference Finals.
But, yeah, they handled the Nuggets. They seem to handle the Nuggets pretty well. They've got their ace in the sleeve of putting Caruso on Jokic if they need to. Probably the if they're going to have a bad matchup, you probably look at the offensive end where Jalen Williams has really struggled to shoot. Pretty much no one except Isaiah Joe can make a three-pointer. And if you can get like a guy to do a decent job on Shea, and then everyone else becomes potentially kind of questionable. They don't really have a great secondary option. And so I think you've got to look at defensive teams. Like could the Timberwolves, who have athletic on-ball players and Anthony Edwards and Jalen McDaniels and elite rim protection, could they be defensively providing the challenge, even if they themselves maybe would end up in a difficult offensive position?
I honestly feel less confident about OKC winning this year than I did last year. And I think it comes back to what you're saying, Dylan, just about that offense. They opened that series against the Grizzlies and SGA, I think 14 points or something. And it just really strange scoring performances from him. And that series took longer to get through than you thought. And overall, just, the shooting from guys like, let me see, Chet Holmgren shot less than 30% from three, Jalen Williams 30%, SGA 28% overall, as other guys kind of struggled to support the offense from three. And with Jalen Williams, who came through in the right moments, had a 40-point finals game. Like if he's not able to do that, kind of just makes me nervous about them going all the way again. But I mean, they'd still be my pick, but I feel less strongly about it.
I said it last year that I didn't trust the fact that they had to rely so much on the wild card guys, the Aaron Wiggins, they got multiple 20-point games from Caruso, and it's like, it's great that they have this depth of guys that can show up. Jared McCain is going to have a playoff game that's going to make people just throw that Daryl Morey quote up all over the place, but it'll probably be like one or two games, and I think that there's definitely some caveats to them, but they're the safest pick at number one. Dylan, who are you going with at number two?
I mean, mathematically, given that we all agree that the Thunder are going to be number one, it therefore makes sense for me to choose who's going to be coming out of the East. And that is a difficult decision. The Pistons have been consistently the second best team in, pretty much throughout the league, the number one team in the East and running away with it. Their play recently has been just as good. They'll have a stretch without Cade, but should be able to bounce back from that. But I'm going to go out on a limb a little bit here, and I'm going to take the Celtics instead.
That's where I would have gone.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think we're all on the same limb right now.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it. Because Detroit has been so good this year. And now, just as we're getting to the playoffs, Boston brings back Tatum, which he has looked, given the injury, he's looked fantastic. He's not as good as he was last year.
As soon as the three-pointer starts falling, it's big trouble. That's pretty much the biggest thing that's lacking at the moment is just the three isn't falling.
It's just a huge wing that, the Pistons don't have a great guy to match up with him. I mean, it's going to be Tobias Harris going up against him in the Eastern Conference Finals, or there's not a great defensive matchup to put on both him and Jaylen Brown. Having them both out there, it gives them more flexibility to size up or size down. And with Cade's collapsed lung, this went from, hey, can the Pistons maybe make the finals, to oh shit, can the Pistons be healthy enough to avoid a first round embarrassment?
And it could even be, as they miss him for a couple of weeks, that the Celtics, who are only a few games behind them, could catch up and take that 2 seed, which then makes it even more likely that they go through. And then just looking matchup wise, we'd probably all expect a Pistons Celtics conference finals. And Boston has this absurd depth of on-ball defenders to just throw at Cade. And if he is in any way compromised, going up against all of these tough defensive players, and then I think Mazzulla is a better coach, and the Celtics give you the math problem because they shoot so many threes and have experience. I think that I have to take them.
think it's the right call. Even if Cade wasn't compromised, I don't think the Detroit has the offensive firepower to keep up. Like it's going to be so Cade heavy, and I don't see them getting out of that. But with Tatum getting back from injury, I almost feel like I like the Celtics trajectory now more than I did previously because Jaylen Brown has taken such a leap and he has looked comfortable on a team that will probably be the 2 seed, could even be the 1 seed. He'll be an All NBA player, and he just looks better than ever. And it's this Jaylen Brown, not even resurgence, but this blossoming of his offensive game where I feel comfortable with him kind of taking the reins in these playoff series as Tatum kind of gets back. And I think they're going to come out of these pretty easily, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. The Myers Kata improvement this year. I mean, we all did our preseason rankings, and it was like, oh crap, they're going to start some combination of Nehemias Queta, Chris Boucher, and Luka Garza. Like, this is going to be a terrible front line.
Yeah.
And Nehemias Queta just has balled out. I think that's what's getting lost the most in all of the Celtics. You know, how they found Jordan Walsh. Oh, Hugo Gonzalez has one of the best plus minuses in NBA history.
Yeah.
Queta is a force and is a beast on the boards. And like, the Pistons have Jalen Durant, but none of the other teams have a guy that can kind of rebound with Queta. Maybe Mitchell Robinson if he's healthy, but you know, he's shoving through Jakob Pertl. He's shoving through Jared Allen. You know, Embiid made of glass. Like, yeah, Queta's just going straight through those guys for the boards.
I had kind of mocked out my all defense teams, and I think Queta might be on there by the time I'm done with this. Just we looked at the Celtics team and just said this team can't win enough because they're center depth, and all of a sudden, here's this guy who is anchored. Yeah. One of the best defenses in the league. He's kind of like their one reliable, like truly reliable center.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're right that he has been the X factor and why they were able to continue to be this high level of team, because we all predicted coming into the season that they would, be sort of middling and then go with the incentives and tank towards the end, because they wouldn't be able to stop anyone because they had no centers. And then Neemias Queta being a clear starting caliber player and, all defensive candidate, I think is he's plugged that hole that has enabled them to continue to be this great team.
I watched him live. He checked into the Kings games a couple times.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, I genuinely, guys, I never got it. I never thought he was that good. Like the people on Twitter were like, Neemias Queta needs 4 minutes, and I'd watch him like, this dude can't, like literally can't stop fouling.
This guy stinks.
Nightmare.
Aaron, how does it make you feel just watching Kings in other places going places? Whether it's Fox, whether it's Queta, whether it's Keon Ellis.
It's just like, in a way, it's like I have a foster shelter of puppies, and they come and they get adopted, and then every once in a while, like I get the families text me and they're like, "Oh, look, they're having such a great time," and I'm like, you know what, I did the right thing. Love them while they were here. They're off doing better stuff, but Neemias Queta averaged 8.7 personal fouls per 36. You only play 5 games. I'm just saying, like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
All right. Well, Aaron, I think there's a pretty clear third. Who are you picking with the number 3?
I'm going to take San Antonio. I think that they have the clutch shot maker down the end in De'Aaron Fox to close these playoff games, and he can kind of coast throughout the beginning parts of the game because they have this like 7-7 alien that is the best rim protector in basketball, and is really developing as like an on-ball scorer. Heading into this season, I said he'd be the best player in the world. I think that's on the table. If they win the championship, we could leave this season feeling that way. And I think the conference finals kind of feels like the expectation at this point.
Yeah, this is. I don't think it was an obvious pick to go to the Spurs, given that we had OKC as the most likely to come out of the West, and more of a toss up between the Celtics and the Pistons. But this does feel like we're on the precipice of Victor Wembanyama taking over the league, and a championship. It feels like there's this sense of inevitability here. Like this could be the year that they get over the hump, and it's just Victor Wembanyama's league.
Really could be. And honestly, I feel right now, I feel more. If I had to bet, either Detroit beats Boston or the Spurs beat the Thunder, I think the Spurs have a better chance of beating the Thunder than Detroit does Boston.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Just the matchup alone, we have seen the Thunder lose to the Spurs 3 times already. We have seen how kind of gummed up their offense can get with Victor Wembanyama out there, with all of the different ball pressure the Spurs can put out there. And let's face it, the Spurs kind of have more consistent scoring options than the Thunder outside of Shea. Like if you take away both teams' number ones, which Victor is a much weaker scoring option, and then SGA is, but if you're just drafting the next several scoring options, J Dub's probably up there, but I'd probably go Fox with the third pick. I'd probably take multiple of the other Spurs guys to consistently give me buckets before I would pick Chet or pick Dort. Dort's not scoring. Caruso, like
AJ Mitchell coming off the bench might be like your
Yeah.
highest Thunder.
Yeah, like are they gonna have to start Mitchell to just generate offense? It's because they're not getting enough from their guys against the Spurs. Like I think that's a possibility.
I'd say that seems like a very plausible solution, given that I think they'll need the extra creation and that the Spurs don't play particularly big.
But at that
Other
point,
than
you're
having a
starting a future
simple
Washington
team.
Wizard. Like, do you trust that?
No, a future Eastern Conference one-time All-Star. Okay,
Whoa. It's
Put some respect on
at
his
least
name.
3 times. At least 3 times. Are we snaking this back around?
No, Nate, you're back up.
I feel like that's wrong because I feel like,
No, that's right.
all right,
Look, think about it. I just had this conversation about snake drafts with a friend of mine. It makes sense. You have the first pick. I get like the third and the fourth, right, for my value. But you getting the fifth and the sixth adds exponentially more value for you.
okay. I'm going to take Denver. I understand that the Nuggets have fallen into woes and misery. They are likely going to be in the 4-5 matchup right now. They're basically in a 3-way tie. Them Houston and Minnesota. Houston's been rough of late. I don't trust that they'll be able to hold in there. Maybe Minnesota makes the push, but either way, I think Denver stays in the 4-5 matchup, which does put them on a date with the Thunder in the second round. So I'm not thrilled with that, but I can't bet against Jokic yet. I like my odds in having that potential second round matchup where I know one of them is getting to the conference finals. It might be, it's a safe pick in my bet, but probably lacks some of the upside.
Yeah, it is a difficult position to pick, given that you're now either going for like safe low probability or you're swinging for the fences. I do think that Denver is probably being a little bit underrated if all their guys are able to come back healthy, which we haven't seen in this sort of later stretch where they've been dealing with constant injuries. If they can get Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson and Christian Brown and Jamal Murray all healthy at one point, they I think get to looking kind of scary.
I believe Peyton Watson's coming back soon, or just came back. So I think they're almost fully healthy now, which is the right timing.
Denver is still terrifying. I know they've been kind of in the middling seeds for the majority of this.
Oh no!
Sorry, I'm back. Denver was just so scary and my internet disconnected.
It heard Jokic. It was like, no, I'm out. I'm out.
Like, no, I'm just done. Jokic is still playing at such a high level. Denver's fallen a bit. They had such a hot start. They were up in the high seeds, now kind of more towards the play-in. But they're the best offense in the NBA. And while they're bottom 10 in defense, their best defender, Aaron Gordon, has only played like 29 games this season. If they can all be there at the right time, like they can be a finals team. I think OKC and the Spurs are kind of 1-2 there. But with Denver, Jamal Murray is playing the best basketball of his career. He made the All-Star team. He finally broke through. He did that. He's no longer the best player never to make the All-Star game. And I just feel like I have a confidence in those two as a pairing, probably more than I ever have in their career. And Jokic is leading the league in rebounding and assists right now. Like both those guys are just clicking.
If you're Denver, would you rather fall to 6th and play the Lakers in round 1 and then the Spurs in round 2? Or would you rather stick it out where it is, go up against the Rockets first, and then the Thunder in round 2?
I want to play the Rockets. Can I sign up to play the Rockets? I'd play the Rockets right now. What are we talking about? The Rockets are going to get 0 playoff wins.
Their supposed franchise corner piece can't shoot or defend. They've got a developmentally disabled man on the court who can't shoot three.
That's Kevin Durant's quote, by the way. That's where that's coming from. Durant called Jabari Smith to some politically incorrect terminology, but the Rockets are falling apart. I mean, I think they had a couple wins, but the Lakers back to back was like a season-ending go around there.
They're missing the good man, Steven Adams.
In the beginning of the season, their offense was so bad, but they had so many second chance points that it just didn't matter, and they were elite anyways. But now without all the second chance points and the double center stuff, they're just a bad offense.
They are starting Reed Shepherd more, and I think that is probably something that we've been asking for this whole year. Of hey, you seem to not have a point guard on your roster. You want to try playing the number 3 pick from last year, the guy who conceivably can move the ball around and who conceivably shoot threes at a really high rate. 2 things that your team is desperately missing and would be greatly benefited by having. I think it's a little too late to really get that fully integrated and figure out how you're going to cover for him, Şengün, and Kevin Durant defensively. But I think it's an interesting wrinkle that I'm glad they're at least playing around with it now.
Yeah, it is a little bit strange in that they've had to almost redefine their entire offensive philosophy, where they started off the season just being huge, getting every offensive rebound, and now they're kind of small, and now they're integrating a shoot first point guard. It is a strange sort of way to go in your season.
Shepherd over the last 20 games is averaging 16 points, 5 assists per game. He's shooting 42% from 3 on 8.4 attempts per game. And the shooting is what they've needed, because if you're going to start Şengün and Thompson, I think Amen Thompson's great. They're going to guard him from underneath the basket in the playoffs. There's just no reason to put anyone out there. He's never going to take those shots. And Şengün started not hot from the 3, but it was
strong enough.
Oh, hey, this could be reliable. And now, I mean, you're not going to guard him out there. And the offense has really gotten stale.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old 4 factors, right? If they were able to bolster their offense early on by rebounding, and now they don't have that, and so you've got to bring it up in another way, or shooting more threes and doing it efficiently brings up your effective field goal percentage, and that's a way that you can really succeed offensively still.
We should note that Kevin Durant just passed Michael Jordan all time in scoring. So, they've got one of the greatest scorers of all time. It's a shame that he's never had a Bam Adebayo type of game, though. He's no Bam Adebayo.
His career high. What was his career high again?
It's shockingly low, right?
Yeah, it's 55, I think.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Unbelievable. No, what that I did a best scorers ever series. I had Kobe above Durant. That was a huge part of it. It's Kobe can get you 60. Hey, I don't know. Put him out there. But I think if I were to draft superstars that I would want to lead my team through a crisis, Kevin Durant might be dead fucking last on that list. Yes, Nate.
One spot above James Harden.
Question.
No,
are these crises? Are we including self-inflicted crises? Because
maybe we could have John Morant down there too.
It's just even you can't have problems with your team in its construction. You can't have drama because KD checks out. He just does.
Yeah,
it's just a part of his nature.
It's like the famous tweet: Kevin Durant is an emotional beta.
I don't know if I've seen that. That's true. That's
That's-
that.
It's a hilarious one. Someone says Kevin Durant is an emotional beta, and Kevin Durant replies and says, "What does beta mean?" And then a third guy from the top rope, totally wrong, is like, "That's what they call it when like something is in development." Totally wrong. Totally
Yeah,
wrong.
hey, in a way, in a way.
And then Durant has the legendary reply, "Well, in that case, we're all emotional betas."
Oh God.
You know what? And Durant's right in that case. But I mean, think about his OKC days, like Westbrook. I'm friends.
You're absolutely right. I mean, think about his Brooklyn days. The Brooklyn team was everything he ever wanted. He had his guys. He handpicked his teammates. They have this emotion, or they have this crisis of COVID, something every single team went through. And he's unable to rally the troops together. Harden gets pissed off. Harden wants to leave. He's unable to bring Harden back into the fold. Kyrie's not feeling welcome. Kyrie wants to leave. It ends up just all blowing up his face. And it's like, you handpicked everybody here. You handpicked all the situation. You handpicked the coach. You got DeAndre
got
Jordan.
rid of Nick Claxton to get DeAndre Jordan the start.
Yeah. Jared Allen.
I always forget about
Jared
that.
Allen, Jared Allen. Yeah.
Yeah. And you couldn't get Jordan a ring? You couldn't get him a ring? Yeah,
His best buddy.
Yeah.
Former
but-
All NBA center DeAndre Jordan.
Multi-time first team All NBA.
Former first team All NBA.
But even think about his OKC days. All throughout that, people recognize Westbrook as the
Triple double cocaine bear.
I keep fucking freezing, Nick.
right when you're in the middle of a point.
No, seriously. Should I continue that? Or do you think my computer will decide that it's not working?
I mean, I feel like I was able to slip in the triple double cocaine bear in a perfect
Yeah.
timing. So
That perfect
yeah,
time.
go ahead, finish your point.
With Westbrook, Westbrook was always kind of viewed as the emotional leader of that team and kind of the alpha, and then Durant secondary to that, and Westbrook ate a lot of the blame for things that happened throughout that tenure. And yeah, it's just, I mean, me and Nate have Durant as one of the 15 best players ever, but that's always something that's going to follow him is the lack of leadership skills.
Yep. This generation's Wilt Chamberlain, but
And
none of
and
us
with
picked
that-
Houston. We
And
just-
with that, with my pick, I would like to not take Houston.
So where are you going with this pick?
I'm going back to Detroit.
You're just locking up the Eastern Conference. You're like, all right, you guys can fight over the West.
I think it's like 52-48 that the Celtics come out of the East, and so I think we shouldn't sleep too much on Detroit. Like they're gonna have the best player in maybe every series, and that counts for something. They've got this great defense. They're deep.
I hate to do this, but the best
We're
player in
gonna-
every series?
We're gonna do an impromptu top 10.
Well, no, I'm just
yeah.
saying.
He's
Like-
I'd say he's in the East. Yeah, in the East.
Okay, so Cade, we're assuming Cade comes back fully healthy, back to full strength.
You have two lungs. You don't need one.
All right, Aaron, I know some black market people that are going to be very happy to hear you volunteer. You will get real money. But I'm just, all right. Donovan Mitchell versus Cade? Cade coming back from collapsed lung? That scares me.
I think it's close, but I'm taking Cade,
Mhm.
especially in the playoffs.
All right.
I take Cade over Brunson. I take Cade over Brown. I mean, yeah, it's not like a gigantic gap, but I'd say that the Pistons are the 1 seed for a reason.
Yeah. Cade had both lungs.
He just needs to breathe twice as fast, up the RPMs.
You know
Yeah,
what?
he's gonna be huffing and puffing, but
Do we know exactly how much? Is he even going to be healthy to start the playoffs?
So IndustryClothes.com has tracked 4 collapsed lungs. 2 of them were CJ McCollum's. One of CJ McCollum's collapsed lungs, he came back from in like 11 days. But on average, it's something like 11 games. So Cade is basically going to be out until the start of the playoffs is the average projection for a collapse lung on a small sample size.
Yeah, their offense just still scares me so much. They're 10th in offensive rating right now. Jalen Duran's second in the team in scoring at 19 points tonight. But like, close your eyes. It's the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, 5 minutes left. They have to get a bucket. They're triple teaming Cade Cunningham. What other player? What other player is like hitting those shots or able to create for themselves in that
It's
way?
Tobias Harris time.
I can't beat
The
Tobias Harris.
veteran.
He's played like 70 playoff games. How does he keep finding himself in these deep playoff runs?
He somehow manages to go 2 for 7 every playoff game.
Duncan Robinson? Duncan
There's
Robinson
no
rebirth?
way. I mean, I think Duncan's gonna
Dennis
be really
Jenkins?
important. Robbins is
It's
going to
gonna
be
be Dennis
important
Jenkins,
just
guys.
in terms of coming off the screens and knocking down threes and kind of getting it going. But God, I think no one else can touch the basketball down the stretch.
You know, I've kind of made a career of being the anti Jaden Ivey guy, like especially in Michigan circles. Like I've never thought he was going to be good. Never thought he was worth keeping around. But he's more helpful than Kevin Huerter. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I could have told you that.
You did.
I'm sure I did at some point. What's Kevin up to? What's he averaging? Oh,
I don't think he's playing.
19% from 3. Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. 19%.
Here's one of the most
for Detroit.
Here's one of the most bizarre player archetypes, like spot up shooter that doesn't shoot threes very well. It's a strange role to
Damn,
play.
that's a tough break, man. That's a really tough combo. The thing with Herter, and I'll shout out Jack the Kings fan for this one. Dating back to like his high school days, when Kevin Herter doesn't start, he doesn't shoot well. He has to start the game. He's like 42% in the games he starts, and like 31% in the games he comes off the bench. That's just how it is. And Mike Brown knew that, and he kept fucking with him. And he kept like alternating whether he'd start or not, and just to get into his head.
I saw a TikTok from a guy that used to play in the NCAA and now is like trying to do a stand-up comedian bit. And he's like, yeah, you know, I average 7 points per game in the NCAA, which is not a lot, but it's enough that I can't blame anyone else. Like, coach put me in. I just wasn't. I wasn't there for it. It wasn't me. Coach would pull me and be like, "You know why I pulled you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know why you pulled me. What took you so long? I want to win this game." That's Kevin Huerter out there. Yeah, you should have pulled me, coach. You should have pulled me 10 minutes ago.
I found it. It's 38% in starting games and 31% in reserve games. That's a pretty substantial number.
Big difference.
Yeah.
So that's what the Pistons have to do. They gotta start him.
That's if they find themselves in a hole, they're down 3-1. There's always the start Kevin Huerter option.
God,
that's right.
Lord help us. All right, Aaron,
we're making a terrible time.
No, we're doing great. How many teams are we taking?
We've taken 5.
Woof. All right. Yeah, we're making great time. We'll be done by sundown. All right. I'm going to take the team with Luka and LeBron on it. I'm going to take the Lakers.
Fuck you.
And hey, we're getting back to you. Come on. I think Luka, the thing with Luka is he's in his peak form right now. He's hitting his shots. All that means, though, is that he's just happens to be hitting a good clip of the awful shot diet that he has. And we're going to keep that going. We're going to push that into the playoffs. He's on fire. He had an 8-game stretch of averaging like 40 a night. I know the last game he played wasn't like fantastic, but I picture a playoff series with those two guys on it. The other pieces be damned. Like I'm going to get a couple wins out of that.
Honestly, I talked to you about this after the Lakers. There's a win against Denver. The way LeBron is playing, LeBron's full body extension layout was just so un-LeBron-esque, so willing to sacrifice his body, so willing to do the added hustle thing. And then, against Miami, LeBron is also coming out there. He's moving the ball. It's not sticking. He's willing to be not the initiator, but still be active in plays. Like, it's not the your turn, my turn that we've seen throughout his career, where it's like, all right, cool. Wade's got the offense this possession. I'm going to stand in the corner and kind of do nothing, or stand up 3-point line, foul line extended. It's like LeBron has been so active and engaged as a tertiary player that's opened up so much. And this is the first stretch that I've really felt like the Lakers have a legitimate shot of mixing things up, of upsetting. I thought that they have a chance of coming out of the Western Conference, or at least getting to the Western Conference Finals over the Spurs because of the Spurs' lack of experience out there.
The Lakers are kind of this team where you don't feel good about them on either end, like as in for or against them, as in if you are relying on the Lakers, like you don't feel good about it. But if your team is going against the Lakers, like you don't feel good about that.
That's a great point. The vibes aren't like phenomenal. The roster isn't like stacked necessarily, but man, if I'm in Staples Center, and it'll always be Staples Center, if I'm in LA and I have to beat Luka in a pivotal game 6 and beat LeBron at the same time, like the plot armor is insanity. Like you can't get around. Like those guys are gonna win that game.
Yeah, they're basically walking into their own death sentence in the crypt.
You're there at Cumbucks Arena or whatever it's called.
I try to think how long it took me to really adapt to the Kings Arena being Golden 1, because it was Arco for so long. And eventually I got there. But Nate, how long do you think it'll take you to really adapt to Staples not being a thing? I know it hasn't been Staples for years and years, but still. Or how long did it take you?
Honestly, it's still Staples in my mind. I still have a vivid memory of being like 16 and out on a date, and my dad texted me free tacos at Staples, and I was just like, Lakers won. I kept the opponent under 100. Like, all right, that's what free tacos at Staples meant, because that was like the promotion that they were doing back then, is you had to win and keep the other team under 100. I was like, all right.
Yeah. I remember one of the most revolutionary evolvements in video game history was when 2K had the crowd chant "We want tacos." If it was a low scoring game against the Lakers.
Nate, I have a follow-up question. When's the last time you've been to a Staples?
Do they exist anymore?
Yes, they're still out there. I really think there's one like kind of by my house. Do they have Staples at?
Is Staples a restaurant?
No, it's an office supply store.
That's okay. That's what I thought.
Like,
okay,
it's the most like standard. No one's in there. It's just like office chairs and school supplies, and there's nothing going on. How do they get Lakers arena money?
So
back in the day, Aaron, before your time,
right.
A lot of things had to be done on paper, and now you needed somewhere to get your paper and the pieces of metal that held those papers together.
Damn.
Honestly, it's amazing that anyone like pays for arena rights. Like, just the concept. I don't know when this started. Maybe I need to like deep dive. When did teams start selling arena rights? But I can just imagine Jerry Buss just strapped for cash, trying to find anyone to like, hey, we'll put your name on our building and you give us X amount of money. But Staples bought the Lakers rights in perpetuity. It wasn't like an annual fee. It wasn't anything leased. It was this blank, we will have you forever. And so
I give you $5,000, I get naming rights forever.
Yeah, Crypto.com had to buy them out. And that's honestly probably why Staples is still in business, in selling the naming rights to Staples Center. Like, that is legitimately probably why they are still a functioning company, if they still are. I think the ones near me have all closed.
What is Intuit? Is it something software related?
Got it.
Probably.
I have some naming rights stuff I found. Actually, quite interesting. I mentioned the Kings. It says the first prominent example of a business purchasing the naming rights of a sporting venue was Arco for the Kings in 1985.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, for the longest time, it was the guy who owned the team also owned some other bullshit, and he named it after the bullshit that he owned, like the Cubs and were owned by Wrigley, the guy with the gum, and so he named Wrigley Field after his gum company.
Madison Square Garden predates the NBA. Yeah, because that was back when it was the hockey league managers who came up with the idea of we could play basketball in our hockey arenas on off nights. So like they ironically, the Knicks did not play a lot of games at MSG because it was more popular for hockey and other things. At least they played at an armory, but like some of the really early stadiums just predate the basketball teams.
I feel like I grew attached to the naming, honestly. This is like kind of important to me. When teams like the Astros just changed from Minute Maid to some other bullshit, bring the juice back. Like, how could you? How could it not be still Minute Maid? I can't do it. I don't do well to change, guys.
We got a Smoothie King in Lansing. Like this is big business. We're expanding our fast food options. We got a Raising Cane's. We got a Smoothie
Oh.
King. We got a Shake Shack.
And it's thanks to the visibility that they got from sponsoring a team that wins 28 games every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna get a little bit of my business. Not a lot, but I'll at least go check out Smoothie King at some point. I'm here plugging the Lansing Smoothie King on the pod.
That's great. All right.
All right, is it back to me then?
It's
Yep.
back to you.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a large part of me that just wants to take the Timberwolves because if we're just saying, if this was a flat field, I feel like the Timberwolves have the next best odds of winning the title. But I think strategically, I have to take the Cleveland Cavaliers. I have to get an Eastern Conference team on the board, and if Cade is not shipshape and right for the playoffs, then Cleveland, as currently sits, they're 2 games back of the Knicks for the 3rd seed. They're up quite a ways on the Raptors for the 5th. They're probably going to be that 4 seed matchup. The Pistons have a ways to fall to give up ground to the Celtics. A 1-4 Cleveland with an unhealthy Cade feels about right.
You just
I
drafted
love-
a team with James Harden on it.
Yeah.
I love that you made the point of, look, never bet on the Clippers, and then you come out here and you're going with James Harden. There's 3 teams that you don't take in your wins draft. It's the Clippers, the team with James Harden, and the team with Doc Rivers. And you've gone and broken one of the 3 rules.
Yeah.
You gotta own that now.
I really trust Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has been a playoff gamer.
And like the Cavs are in a position where a 2 for 11 from James Harden might not actually sink you, because you've still got the Twin Towers defensively. You've got Tyson, who could get hot, and then you've also got Donovan Mitchell to carry your offense. And so a 2 for 13 James Harden night with 6 turnovers and the worst defense you've ever seen, like, that is survivable based on this roster construction.
And really, I'm just not scared of the other teams that they're going to play in the East if Cade is not healthy. I mean, if Boston overtakes them and it is a 1-4 Celtics-Cavs matchup, cool. I've gotten 5 wins from the Cavs because they're going to, get 4 in the first and then 1 off of Boston. But if Cade's not healthy, this is an easy 8 wins. This feels like a strong value in the 3rd round of the draft.
I could see that. No, I think that's the right value play. You can't go another Western Conference team at that point. And I genuinely, I was looking at some All NBA stuff, just trying to mock out like what is this even going to look like? And if some players miss some time, like James Harden, it might be back in that conversation again. Like somehow, some way, he's just timeless. Honestly, he's always going to have this insane handle. He's always going to be able to draw contact and hit his step back threes. He's an elite passer, and yeah, I'm kind of curious to see again. I mean, kind of morbidly curious at this point to watch James Harden in the playoffs for the 900th time, but we'll see what it brings us.
Hey, the big thing is just don't get into game 5 and 6. Win in 4.
Oh, gotcha. Didn't think about that one.
Yeah,
I'm going to email Cleveland. You have to win in 4 games.
Play
You
your
need to get
starters
through.
48 minutes, games 1 through 4.
Mhm.
The rest of the games don't matter. If you get there, it's over anyway. Run your guys into the ground, all out.
They're up
It's
3-0 in a series, and then they lose game in 4. It's like, you guys are fucked now.
Yeah.
It's like, God, I look at that Raptors matchup, and like the Raptors just have so much length, and I feel like athleticism, and they could be there, and just like James Harden doesn't do well when things start going south, and if they're in Toronto and the building's rocking, and like, it just scares me.
I love the Raptors, but I don't trust them to rebound well against the Cavs consistently.
Yeah,
And they've got great wing defenders. They will ruin James Harden's day, but unless they're going to play Shed a ton of minutes, it's like they don't have someone to chase around Donovan Mitchell. Barnes is much better guarding bigger players, more wings than he is like small, fast guards. Or so.
Yeah,
That,
like he might be a pretty good matchup for James Harden,
Yeah.
but absolutely not for Donovan Mitchell.
He would be a great matchup for Cade, who's got a little bit more size to him, a little bit less speed. Like Scotty Barnes is a potential all defensive player, or I haven't fully mapped it all out yet, but like great defender. I don't want Raptors fans coming for me with this, but I don't love the matchup against Cleveland where Raptors can struggle rebounding and struggle with small guards. Great in the middle range, not so good on like the far ends.
Right, Dylan,
And
back up.
and with that, I will absolutely not be taking the Raptors. This is a very difficult position. Which team that I don't believe in am I going to be stuck with? It'd be almost interesting to know who Aaron wants. Who is he going to be relieved at me taking?
Hey, Aaron, who do you want?
I think I'll.
None of these teams.
Yeah,
None of these-
I think I'll just take the Knicks. Like they're the best team regular season wise, I suppose. They've got a guy who could be the best player in any series. They've got defensive wings, which you really need to go through the East. They've got a good matchup for Cade and a good matchup for Brown and for Tatum. And again, like they could have the best player in the series. An unenthusiastic endorsement of the New York Knicks.
Do we think that
You
this
know-
is the last team we could see making the finals? This is team number 8, and it would be Pistons. I think that's the 4th East team. I think we've done 4 and 4 at this point, right?
Yeah, Dylan
No.
has taken 3 Eastern Conference teams. So
No,
we're at
it's-
4 and 4.
Am I not counting right?
Celtics, Detroit, the Cavs, and the Knicks is 4. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the Thunder, Spurs, Lakers, Denver,
Nuggets.
and did you take Minnesota?
No,
You
I
didn't.
just I,
You
I,
didn't.
I,
They're
I
on-
way
They're on the
missed
board, Aaron. If you
Still on the
would like,
board.
if you would
Man.
like to bet on Rudy Gobert in the playoffs, now
So-
is your opportunity.
Wait, before
ahead,
we move
go
off the Knicks, do we think that Mike Brown is closer to Doc Rivers in this? Like, do we really trust him in the playoffs?
I trust Mike Brown. I do. I think you got to get
Dude.
there. Here's the thing: don't give him any question marks in the roster. Like, make sure you have good players and a bunch of shit players. Don't if you give any middle ground, then he's gonna mess that up. But I think the Knicks have a clear cut enough top 5 where they can just play their guys.
Do they have a 6th? Is there a 6th best player on the Knicks?
I hope not, because that'd be bad for them. 'Cause then Mike Brown would start that guy over the 5th guy because he gets it wrong in that way.
Look, it's Mitchell Robinson who can get in and block some
Okay.
shots and get you some offensive rebounds. You've got Mo Diawara if you need a bit more length, and he's absolutely shooting the shit out of the ball too, standing in the corner and hitting spot up shots and being long and athletic. And you guys are going to laugh as I mentioned this as a potential playoff X factor, but Landry Shamet's movement shooting has been very
No
impactful for
fucking
the
way.
Knicks.
Come on, there's no chance.
I
Guys, I did
really
have a-
thought you were gonna make a Jeremy Sohan reference. And
I did have a great question for you. So, Jaren Jackson Jr. is 2nd in the NBA right now with 34 offensive fouls. How many offensive fouls does Karl Anthony Towns have?
oh, you texted me this the other day. Hey,
I think I just told you that he's gonna lead the league again for like the 6th time in his career.
yes, and you told me how big of a gap he had over the second best guy.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm
It
not gonna
must
answer.
be like one a game, right? Does he have like 60?
He has 61. Yeah, he's way up there. Towns, I wish I had the number off the top of my head. Towns has led the league in offensive fouls so many times. It's
Yeah.
astounding how many times
Yeah.
he commits those. And I don't think he'll ever be a trustworthy offensive option in the playoffs because of that. Like he just
He
is a guaranteed 2 turnovers a game because of it.
he does it so often that like his reaction to getting called for an offensive foul has become just totally ubiquitous. Like I can picture it in my head. It's like this, it's like pleading. It's like, are you? It's totally incensed and also begging. Like, oh my god!
Wow.
Like, yeah. It's you did it 60 other times. Like just like those times. You did it again. But center that can't really defend the rim and turns the ball over too much and a small point guard is horrifying. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I hate to say it, but it's almost like the starting five is too much better than the rest of the bench that you don't quite want to shift it up and mix it up. But like some of the bench guys probably do have their useful moments. Like I kind of forgot about Jose Alvarado for a moment. I know Clarkson's been kind of working his way back
Just
into the
McBride if he
rotation.
can get me too.
Yeah, like some of those guys could be useful momentary guys. But like, are you really gonna play them over Brunson? No. Are you gonna?
Oh, but for the 8 to 10 minutes that Brunson has to sit on the floor, you throw Deuce McBride or Jose Alvarado out there. Like that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. All right, Aaron, number 9.
I am going to take the Timberwolves. I think having 3 Western Conference teams is probably a bad idea, but I don't think none of them will play each other to start. I think that's just where I'm at right now.
Oh yeah, you're playing a next level of You're playing chess while I'm playing
Checkers.
I
Up
was
the
waiting
River
for
or
it.
whatever it's called.
Wait. Aaron, the one problem with
Yes.
that theory is
No, they are.
the
They
current.
are set
Yeah,
up.
the current
I
first
think
round is Lakers Timberwolves.
my goal is that won't be the case by the time that we get there.
Yeah.
I can't. If it
Very
was set
possible.
right now, I wouldn't do this. But right now, like, I mean, we'll talk about it. What's my other option? I'm not. You want me to take the Hawks? Look at me right now and say take Atlanta. I'm not doing that. So I think I'm gonna go Minnesota. Anthony Edwards has played fantastic in the playoffs for back-to-back seasons. They made back-to-back conference finals, and I'm just gonna take the talent and forget about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Or they've figured out a little bit more of their guard rotation. Io DeSumo, he's looked nice out there. He's added some speed to their bench.
And just a playable guy. They started the season with literally 6 NBA players. So just having a 7th NBA player makes the difference.
I will say the games I have watched recently, way too much Kyle Anderson. Like,
oh yeah, he's washed it.
Chris Finch is this man's like #1 fan. Number 2 is Kyle Anderson's mom.
Yeah.
Some slow-mo? Don't like slow-mo?
Slow-mo just doesn't have it anymore. Slow-mo is
Slow-mo's washed. He
Yeah.
was very good at different points in his career.
Also,
but
you're bringing back a man that's been punched by another one of his teammates.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Have we had a coach firing this year? Am I blanking
I mean,
on
Billups hasn't been fired. He's just been under
He's
federal
un-
indictment.
that? I feel like mid-season coach firings are fairly common. I don't think we've gotten any this year. But I thought about that because the Timberwolves are one of the many teams I've seen this year. Because I'll visit team subreddits and be like, all right, what's going on here? And they always it's a picture of their coach is fire blank. Like after a battle. Chris Finch is one, Ime Udoka, I've seen that pretty often recently. Jamal Mosley for the Magic, but I'll have to compile all the franchises that have asked for their coach to be fired.
You see a lot of the I see this a lot with Doc Rivers. It's like him photoshopped along with like Benjamin Netanyahu.
I'll see stuff like that, or they're edited to be like I'm forgetting this guy's name, the leader of the
Stalin.
Taliban.
Saddam Hussein.
Osama bin
No,
Laden.
Something like
Osama bin Laden. It'll be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Fake.
yeah, Doc Rivers and Osama hanging out, and then they both
Yeah.
kind of dress the same. Yeah, no, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Well, with that as a segue, how can I pick anyone other than the Miami Heat? A team who will definitely not fire their
Hell
coach.
yeah.
A team who is currently in the ninth seed in the Eastern Conference, but is on a bit of a run. They're a top, well, they were top 5 defensively, and then they lost the last couple. But, you know, they got one of the greatest scorers of all time. You know, it goes Wilt Bam Kobe up there. And honestly, what would be the more Miami Heat than making the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals? Or, you know, if they can get in right now, play Cade or play Pistons without Cade, then go through the Cavaliers, then, you know, it's them versus Boston, just like old times, good times. That's a 10-11 win postseason.
They got a guy that can get 83. They have Bam Adebayo, and I think the Heat are always going to have shooting and defense and switchability and playoff expectations, and one of the best coaches in the league. And honestly, that's a pretty good pick. Didn't have the heart to take a team that might just not make the playoffs at all, but it's a good pick.
This is a team that had Gabe Vincent looking like a conference finals MVP. If they can get instead Tyler Hero and Norman Powell, actual good NBA players, like imagine what they could do. Imagine what Spo can do with actual NBA players.
And I gotta tell you this: anytime Kiel Ware has a good game, I get comments on my rookie check-in for Kiel Ware her last year being like, "What do you think of him now?" And then crickets for a month, and then he'll have a good game, and everyone shows up again. What do you think of him now? Is he gonna be an all-star? I'm like, you guys have been real quiet for a month, but it's the playoffs. I expect those crickets to go away. I expect some comments on there. All right, Dylan, 11.
Give me the emotional beta, Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets.
I
Wow.
like it. Finally getting a
Wow.
Western Conference team.
0. That's going to be a 0. The Rockets are getting swept. I promise you this.
It'll be interesting to see if they can hold on to the 4 seed in home court advantage.
Let me throw this out here. They can't.
I
From the
have
depths.
faith from the depths, from off the screen. No,
Sorry,
I mean, like,
I'm fighting a cold, so I was like, I'm gonna take this moment. I'll let Dylan give his spiel. I'll blow my nose, and I was like, well, I gotta chime back in for that.
there's no spiel. This is the 11th pick in this draft, and it's a team with a top 10 player and a really good coach, and one of the few teams that continues to be really good on both ends of the floor. Let me bring it up and see if that
God, I feel like
still
she's just taking the
rings
Raptors.
true.
Just keep your Eastern Conference hopes alive.
Look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams who are top 10 on both ends of the floor, and all the others have gone. And so, being good on both ends is the key to playoff success. And the Houston Rockets are still a top 10 offense and a top 5 defense.
I feel like the thing about being good on both ends of the floor is it's really good if you're good on both ends of the floor at the same time. As opposed to like Houston, when they do their big lineup, they're really good on one end of the floor. And when they go to the small lineup, they're really good on the other end of the floor. It's like we just switch our lineups up fast enough. No one will notice that we're not good at both at the same time.
That's good. Elite analysis there. It's like a blur. Like, man, this team is so good.
Like if they
It's,
can do hockey
it's-
subs and just like tag in at
Yeah.
the center court line, they'd be elite.
Them and the Lakers. Imagine if you could it was like football and you had like an offensive unit and a defensive unit. Like you could play Austin Reeves, Luke Kennard, Luka, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton, and then pull all 5 of those guys and put on your Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt and Jackson Hayes.
And don't tell Adam Silver that. You're going to give him an idea for more stoppages, and more
No,
time
no,
for
this-
commercials. He's like, oh, it's great.
This has to be hockey style. You gotta like tag the guy, slap his butt, get in, and get off the court. Like,
How about this? When the 5 offensive Lakers are going down on the offensive end, the 5 defensive Lakers are waiting where they just left. They're waiting on defense, and then when the Lakers' offense is done, they leave the court. It's
do you
like
know
kind
how,
of a shuffle thing.
How about it's just half court? You don't play full court. The ball, that you go down, you have your one game, you score or you get a stop, and then the ball goes down to the other court.
so
Two different games.
They're happening simultaneously. Here we
It's
go.
like an offensive unit facing
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
defensive unit,
Yeah.
and then the other. Okay, that's a great idea. It's like there's 2 you have to. Oh wow.
so
That's
women's basketball.
That's the kind of random shit that they should pull out once you get to like triple overtime, and you're just trying to find a differentiator. Like that's the kind of thing that should
Women's basketball actually used to do this.
go.
So there was a time, I want to say in the 60s, where women's games were 3-on-3, but like 6 players on the court. So you had your 3 offensive players and your 3 defensive players, and the defensive players could never cross into the offense, and then the like 3 offensive players couldn't cross into the defense.
Huh.
Yeah, because women were deemed to be less athletic, and it would hurt their fragile physiques. You know, real good 60s athletic sciences,
Right.
this type of shit. That yeah.
that
And
is
then
that we've sadly lost because
Yeah.
of work, and now look at the state of the game.
Social
God.
media wins
It's-
again. Taken away the 3-on-3 half offense, half defense.
Well, it's why I love the fact that we've got the Unrivaled League. It's an homage to the olden 3-on-3 style of women's basketball.
I have to take a pick, guys. It's
You're in a difficult position.
It's in a real dark spot. I think I'm gonna take Charlotte. I'm gonna take Charlotte. By the time the playoffs start, I think the Hornets will be in the playoffs. I think they can grab the 6th seed. If not, they're gonna get a nice 7 seed. They'll have the 2 chances, and I think they're gonna make the playoffs. They've been playing fantastic over the last 2 weeks. They have the 4th best net rating in the league.
I just want to point this out. We've now grabbed the 9 and 10 seed from the Eastern Conference.
I thought about Philly. I really did.
You-
I think
You
if
guys
this
want
comes back around, I'd get them.
Grant.
Sorry,
Don't
Dylan,
hate.
what'd you say?
I said you guys wanted the Eastern Conference 9 and 10 seed over Kevin Durant's 3 seed.
Yes.
Yeah, no regrets. No
Because
regrets.
a play-in win counts. A play-in win, it's actually
At least
be
you get one.
extra value because they're going to win the 2 play-in games and then win a playoff
Which is
series.
more
6
than
wins.
which is more than the emotional beta is going to get over.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. I think I talked Toronto down enough that I'm starting to like their odds, starting to like their positioning again. And I mean, honestly, right now they're 2 games out of being the 9th seed. So who knows where they're going to be? They're currently 5th. They could end basically anywhere. And I don't particularly love their matchup against the Cavs, but I do kind of like their matchup against the Knicks. I do kind of like their matchup against a Cadeless Pistons. I think Scotty Barnes has had a true 3rd-year leap. Like, you know, last year was not the leap that I was kind of hoping for, but this year he's really settled in to not being the guy that has to stir the drink. Brandon Ingram's come along and been very helpful. RJ Barrett looks really good at times, and Shed provides defense and shooting, or at least he did at points. His shot has fallen off like crazy lately, but you know, if that shot can come back, Pirtle was back. Pirtle had a big game last night. Like, why not? Why not Toronto? That's my motto.
They have the length. They have defense. I think they just have that kind of size. They're 7th in defensive rating right now, and if they can find a consistent offense, I think from Brandon Ingram, really, like, can he be the lead offensive creator on a playoff team? They'll have the defense around it to win a playoff series, and we'll just see what kind of matchup they draw.
Yeah.
My
I think this
last pick.
Are we stopping at 15? We're not going to 18?
Holy shit!
Okay, then not my last pick. Let's go.
All right. I thought you said we each get 5 teams. You said that was a quote. You said that.
I definitely did not say anything of such.
Okay, then we can go. Yeah, we can keep going. So
Okay, since it's not my last pick, I don't have to reach. Who could win a single game? I think the Sixers can win a single game. So I'm gonna grab the Sixers. I could see them in a, going 5 or 6 games in the first round series.
Fair enough. And potentially winning a play-in game. So that's another win for you.
the ceiling's certainly high on them. That was going to be my pick if they were still there, just based off of perfect health. You're going to get Paul George. He's done juicing. He's not on the PDs anymore. He'll come back, and it's just Embiid can still be such a great player that a couple playoff wins is not out of the question. I could see them getting out of the play-in, and you can get 3 points out of this one.
I just remember the old Charles Barkleyism of like this young team so stupid they don't know that they shouldn't play well. And I see that with VJ the Edgecombe. Just like he doesn't know he's a rookie and shouldn't be playing well in his first big playoff moments. Let's go hard. And VJ ends up getting an extra game. And if Maxey can be healthy, like that is one of the best backcourts in the Eastern Conference. The 1-2 punch of those guys.
If I could guarantee perfect health for the Sixers, guarantee it, would you prefer them over the Knicks?
Yes.
Would you? Yeah, right. They're up there.
Even if you said like, hey, guaranteed perfect health with Embiid in this weakened state that we've seen from him this year, like, sure, I trust the overall pieces of the sum of their parts to be worth more than or as a whole. This is crazy to say, but like Dominic Barlow has filled in nicely on the wing moments. And I'm forgetting the other wing player that they have that's also like a G leaguer to no minutes into like, hey, I play and I work hard. Basically their version of Jordan Walsh. That looks really good, but they've got wing depth. They could be fun. Not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick. It was going to be them for me or the Orlando Magic, my favorite team. I'm taking Orlando. This is going to happen, guys. Orlando's making the playoffs.
Known Paolo Banchero believer, Aaron
Yes.
Schroeder.
They're going to lose in 5 games. They're going to score 92 points a night. Banchero's going to put up good numbers, and I don't have to hear about how good he is for another year after that. But that's going to be 2 points for me.
I'm just saying we're now at 9 Eastern Conference teams. So smart money. I'm going with the LA Clippers because yeah, baby.
I wanted them so bad, and I didn't think you guys would take it.
Listen,
Nate is betting on Luka Doncic staying in shape. He's betting on the Clippers, and he's betting on James Harden.
No, I don't have Luka, but I am betting on the fall apart Cavs, the ghost of Miami.
I know that. I know how desperately you're going to start thinking about the Bucks as we get a couple picks away from here.
No, that's my last pick. That's 16 for me. Or that's pick 16. Dylan, who's your final pick?
I really like the Clippers there. That's a great steal from you. I guess if the Hawks stay at 6 and the Knicks stay at 3, I actually do think that is a fairly good matchup for them. And so I'm gonna take Atlanta. They've been what are they like 9-10 in their last 10 games?
They had an 11-game win streak where their average
9-1.
opponents. So they had an 11-game win streak where their average opponent's record on the year was less than 38%.
And they took care of business against the bad teams.
They did. Counts for something. All right, Aaron. Milwaukee, Portland, Phoenix, or Golden State?
Why even mention Milwaukee? Are they not eliminated yet? Like they're done. They're way out. They're way out of there. No
Giannis
chance.
still exists. You
Yeah,
could,
Giannis
you,
is
you don't
coming
want to
back.
bet on Giannis winning a single game.
I
Doc
think
Rivers,
Giannis
baby.
is gonna play in 6 more games this season. He's not gonna play very much. Okay. I think Atlanta was the smart pick. I probably should have looked at them over Orlando, honestly, just given the fact that they are at least in the playoffs at the moment. But it is just a game. And they've been playing so well. Their pace is so high, and they just have the youthful joy to their game at the moment. I'm gonna take the Suns. I think Dylan Brooks is gonna be back in time. That's my belief. They don't have much of a timetable, but with him back, they are as good as a 5 or a 6 seed. They were playing at that rate prior to him leaving. They've kind of fallen off without his toughness and his newfound offensive creation. But playoff team with Devin Booker on it, I think they'll get out of the play-in and play in a playoff series.
Fair enough. To be fair, I think the Clippers can beat them in that 7-8 matchup, and we get a Kawhi versus the Spurs. That's a short series.
Oh hell yeah! Kawhi has consistently dodged playing in San Antonio since he left. So it'd be interesting to see if he goes an entire playoff series only playing home games.
He could.
If any
Wouldn't
player would, it'd be Kawhi. All right, gentlemen. Any final takes?
So who didn't get taken here? The Trailblazers and the Warriors. And that's kind of it, right?
Yes, sir.
Those are those 20 teams. We had 18 picks. Yeah. The last ones, the Golden State just free fall. They're heading to the lottery, which they'll win, and they'll give Steph Curry another star to play with.
They'll
As Golden
take
State deserve.
James Wiseman, or they'll get the next James Wiseman or Jonathan Kuminga.
Yep.
All right, people. Where can the listeners find you?
Where can we
Fine.
find the listeners?
I'm looking for the listeners. I'm searching for them. I will find them. You can find me, Possible Chairs on TikTok, Possible Chairs on Twitter, and this podcast pretty often.
Dylan, where can we find you?
You can find me every week on the Hoops Temple podcast. Tune in next week for a big prediction that's going to blow your mind and come true.
Find me, Nate_Hoops Temple on TikTok and YouTube. Email the show, hoopstemple@gmail.com. We'd love to